What up, guys? Alchemist 100 here. Sorry that I sound sick, but I'm gonna get through this as much as possible and kind of guys show you guys what I have planned this year for 2K19. I never really do these too often. I kind of show you what I do as the year ends up, but never really how the year is gonna start. And even now, I'm thinking about it and how this year's gonna start. So you just sit with me for a minute. So I didn't think that I'd be the guy to get franchise fatigue. Franchise fatigue is when you play a game or a series that comes out yearly, mostly like your NBA games or your WWE games or it's mostly sports games or games that come out year after year after year after year after year constantly. Um, I didn't think I was going to be the guy to get franchise fatigue, but in 2K18, I was the guy to do that. And I can make the excuse and say, well, I work sporadically, so I don't know when I'm going to record next or something like that. But there's been times where I've been here, just sitting here, streaming other things because I have a million other games to play. But quite honestly, I could easily just finish up on 2K18 or going to 2K19 and such. But it's the repetitive nature of the game where because they don't have all the features that it's not necessarily new to change everything. It's kind of hard to get around that, and going to another game like Fire Pro doesn't help out for me. I've always enjoyed 2K's games, or I've always enjoyed THQ's games for the most part. I've learned how to get constantly better ever since 2K, like the end of 2K16. I felt like I was learning much more than I've ever learned. I felt like I was at the peak of peaks when it came down to it. I felt like I knew what I wanted to do when it came down to it. But back then, it was simpler. I mean, there was a lot of glitches and things like that. But around 2K17, I had people. I knew what I wanted to do. My roster was legit. It was there. You guys saw for the ones who did. I know there's a few of you guys around new who weren't around for 2K17 all the way, or maybe came in late. But for people who've seen me since like 2K15, which is only a small few, and then most of those small few don't even watch my channel anymore, or probably watch it on the low, right? There's been so much franchise fatigue from this game simply because it just hasn't put out the right things. I think like being able to import championships and import move sets and import wrestlers altogether would help. I know that comes with glitches and certain things not working with the previous thing before, but then let it just set to default then. But things like move sets, I know move sets should easily be able to be transferred over. I know it takes a while, and I know you can kind of just download someone else's wrestler and hope for the best, but you can't always rely on someone else to get you what you want. I mean, we're still getting wrestlers now that I need for universe mode now. And if let's say I started this universe mode, a couple months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, you wouldn't have the same. You wouldn't have the same build. You wouldn't have the same setup that I would want from my universe mode, because quite honestly, the wrestlers that I have on there, it's so hard to get some of them simply because they just don't exist. They wouldn't exist at the time. It's not like most of the wrestlers I have are in the game, but there's other cause and such that are never going to never be in a WWE 2K game, or what I mean, or never be in a wrestling game, simply just because if that's just how it is, and they're not signed to a contract and things of that sort, right? But like I said before, I didn't think I was gonna be the guy that catch that franchise fatigue. Quite honestly, it hit me hard as hell in this last year, and I kind of stopped me. And I was trying to figure out, hey, let me play something else so I'm not constantly feeling like I can't do something. Let me play something else so I don't feel like I can't. I don't know the word. Let me play something else so I don't feel like this is the only game I play. Because, like I said, quite honestly, it's so hard for a person like myself that has 3 rosters to work with every year to kind of import by myself movesets and wrestlers and championships and all that. Like, entrances and things like that are not a big deal. It's not the end of the world if your entrance is default. I'm glad that the game does just take it off most wrestlers and give them their actual entrances and outros now, which is great. But like I said, other things like championships and all that stuff, it adds up, man, and it takes time to make these championships and to import all these logos again and do all that stuff. Even importing is not the hardest thing to do, but it's still one of those things that's in the way. Now you gotta go back through your folders and figure out which ones you want, or make new ones altogether, and making arenas and all that stuff. It's not really changing too much it's not changing enough that it shouldn't there couldn't be an import feature, and it needs to be one. Quite honestly, that shit hurts me so much because it's so stressful and it's so mentally taxing to do this again and again and again, year after year after year after year. And I know you guys watch me like, I love your content, man. You make good stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but the work that has to be put into it is it's so much. Um, but with all that out of the way, I just want to quickly talk to you guys about kind of my plan this year when it comes to universe mode, and I'm gonna try and learn how these things work. I believe my first thing I want to do is have Crash Band Pro Wrestling with its New Year Dash. But we're gonna call it New Year's Crash for Crash Band Pro Wrestling. It's just a parody of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Year Dash. I really want to call it New Year's Crash. I think that'd be cool as hell. I want to kind of have a not necessarily money in the bank for Crash Band Pro Wrestling, but have a tournament to hold like a Red Robin tournament. To kind of have a champion to kind of work around and work with, because quite honestly, I think that'd be cool as hell to have like a briefcase that is a guarantee that this person's gonna go on and face, kind of like how Tanahashi this year was that guy that was holding the briefcase and he was ready to cash in on Kenny Omega at the end of the year. I think that'd be cool as hell. I think that'd be cool as hell to have for Crash Band Pro Wrestling. Pure Test Wrestling is kind of be what it is. I don't think I'm gonna have a Royal Rumble this year because, quite honestly, Royal Rumbles always end up with a wrestler you don't exactly want. In the last couple years, you kind of have to just kind of give it what it is instead of kind of hoping that, like, hey, hopefully a big guy like one of the bigger wrestlers out there like a Scott Mercury would end up winning the whole thing, and you kind of can say, okay, well, this is high star power here, instead of a guy like my boy Rick Marco, who's Luke Harper, or Ricky Green, that's Rich Swann, right? Like, I don't mind having those guys step into the ring for the final bout. If you haven't seen Final Bout, go check it out. But I don't want those guys. It's not that I don't like them. I don't want those guys simply because it's so much work to put that kind of effort out with wrestlers that you can't get behind when they haven't been doing good all year and they just got a lucky break. That's fine and dandy. I can work around that. But to have that every year, that surprise every year, it doesn't exactly help too much for me. And there's that, and then there's the ordering. I don't even know if they fixed the ordering. I know you can set an order, but then by the time you start the universe mode, it sets it back to default. That's annoying as hell. So I don't think I want a Royal Rumble this year. That alone, and then you can't even have your arena that you have set up for, the Royal Rumble of the whole year. Like, every year I make this amazing themed out Royal Rumble, and it doesn't go through when it comes to the Royal Rumble, the match that everyone cares about. At the end of the night, it ends up just being it just ends up being in the Royal Rumble arena. It's pointless and dumb and stupid, and quite honestly, I don't like it. Other than that, I'm sorry saying so much. There's so much in my head, man. So many ideas in my skull. So things I want to do, factions I want to make this year, factions that are now available in the game, like System Shock, which is Adam Cole and fucking Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Like, that can be a thing now. That's not just like a three cause that are put together. They're actually in the game now, and that can be the thing. So I want to have faction wars, and I want to have, multiple brands switching over and having these wars between not just Pure Intense Wrestling, Crash Band Wrestling, and once again, and even maybe bringing back a few ladies on Pure Intense Wrestling or Crash Japan once in a while, just to have that, just to fill that one slot. You know what I mean? That'd be great. I think that'd be so great to have. But quite honestly, like they said, there's just so much that needs to be changed in the games itself, and not necessarily the gameplay. And honestly, this year I enjoy the gameplay, but it does have its faults that don't seem like it's going to be fixed. And quite honestly, that messes me up so much because there's so many things this game brings that's good, but now with the franchise fatigue, you can't care about it anymore because you've been pushed back so many times that now when the game's actually good or somewhat decent, you're like, well, I don't want to play this now because there's just so much going on. And like, just the random thing with the payback system, just the randomization of that, like having that set up at the right time and having things set up at the right time can be the beginning and the end of everything. Just having like a guy using Move Thief compared to a guy using like Poison Mist can be the change everything. It can really be that thing. Like, not referee's knocked out, let me use my payback and get missed in the eye. And it makes this realistic feel. Oh, the mist is on his face, all we can see it, and go for your, you know what I mean? Or someone coming in using the blackout feature where they end up behind you. You know how many things you can cut for a cutscene for that? Or you're in the middle of a match and all of a sudden the person that's not even in the match, you just change it up on them and put a blackout feature on. All of a sudden some guy comes up from behind and fucking takes you out. Like, there's so many different ways of things and how it can work. It's just, you got to do it. And at this point in time, I don't know if I keep doing this. I'm never going to say, like I told you, I said in previous videos, I will never give up on WWE, but it's just the pacing that I'm going at right now that I don't like. So I think is this year, the best thing I want to do is focus on Shinjuku for me. I think my best thing to do is focus on Shinjuku and then worry about Pure Intense Wrestling, Crash and Wrestling a little less this year. And that sounds crazy, but quite honestly, I don't get that same fatigue when I'm playing as the ladies. There's something special about them that when I play with the ladies of Shinjuku, I feel like I feel renewed in a way. I feel like everything I do, especially after episode 26, I think it was now, and I still haven't finished 2K18 when it comes to Shinjuku, and I think I have 2 episodes left, but I feel like when I play Shinjuku, everything feels fresh all the time because it's not faces that you guys see all the time. So I think my plan this year is, quite honestly, and I'm saying this officially now, I'm not saying this on stream for only a few people that can hear it, I'm saying this officially right now, Shinjuku I want to focus on more by a long shot, and I kind of want to have Pure Intense Wrestling and Crash Pimp Wrestling on the back burner. Not to say that I'm going to do less with Crash Pimp Wrestling and Pure Intense Wrestling, but there may be months that you don't see where I'm just going to kind of sum it up for you guys what's going on, whether that's through highlights or whether that's just through me talking through commentary before and during the matches. Like I said, I'm going to have the same amount of pay-per-views. I just want to have a different outlook at professional wrestling when it comes to the games, because like I said, it's just so much to take in. So with that being said and done, like I said, I'm sorry that I sound sick. It's just came out of nowhere, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna wait it out, get something to drink, and hope that my voice cleans up, because I do want to finish up 2K18 so I can get it off my system actually. And it's just so much space on the system too. Like, it helped big time when it comes to loading and all that. So with that being said and done, as always, guys, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for listening to me go off on a tangent for a little bit of a while. I hope you guys enjoy. For you guys who've listened this long, thank you. For everyone that's here, thank you. I cannot stress enough how much I love the support. I don't want fake supporters. I want people who enjoy what I make week in and week out. I want people who love wrestling to love what I love, but I also don't want to give you guys half-ass work, ever. I never want to give you guys half-ass work. I'd rather redo a match 5,000 times than give you it one time and feel like I'll never be able to do it again and just push it out. I want to give you guys the best of the best of the best of the best of the best that I can give you. So that's why I said it's so hard to make these nights happen, because I have so much going on in real life that it's hard to work around that in this fake wrestling life that we watch week in and week out. That's my universe mode that consists of Pure Intense Wrestling, Crash Pro Wrestling, and Shinjuku Joshi Babel. With that being said, like I said before, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Until then, peace out and good shit.